Greetings, pen friend. Larry here from Larry's Fountain Pens Review. Deep in the heart of Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, that is. I hope everybody is staying safe, keeping them hands washed, and staying the distance. So, today I want to do a review on 3 different pens. It's going to be a ballpoint, a fountain pen, and a rollerball. So, before I get started, I would like to share with you a story, and I'll let Mr. Announcer read a tribute from an old friend that I found very interesting that goes well with these pens. Mr. Announcer, if you would do the honors.
George Parker of Janesville was laid away in the Oak Hill Cemetery yesterday. Such a man as he is sure of an impressive funeral in our country, but his was very simple, except for the number of people gathered about him and the great masses of gorgeous flowers that piled up where he was. George Parker was an Episcopalian, but as the cars of the funeral procession passed by Mercy Hospital, where they had cared for him while he was ill, lined up by the roadside, there stood the black-robed Mother Superior and her black-robed assistants, flanked by long rows of white-robed nurses, each side. The row of bowed heads seemed a block long as the mortal remains of the man they were honoring because they loved him passed by. Because I loved him too, their affectionate gesture touched me as no funeral could. It was impossible to put a tag on him, you see. This friend of mine was so warm in spirit that people seemed to love him automatically. He was handsome and so much alive that he is going to seem the more dear to most of us. Our country hasn't many of his type left. They are the best argument I know for our social system as it stands. From the time he sat behind his favorite horse on the racetrack of the Janesville County Fair until he became an international figure in American industry, he was a good sport, as we say. America considers that the first condition of the true American gentleman, and it is, just as it is the first condition of one in England. He became a great traveler, always curious. He got about a lot in faraway places, not omitting the Yangtze in China, and the ideal mate for him, his wife Martha, was never far away from George. I imagine he was what we call a self-made man. But as his friends knew, he was no selfish one. By instinct, he was a patron with strong likes and dislikes and salty tastes. He was a success in the best sense of that equivocal term in our country. What is America going to do without him and his kind? They are fast falling away from us, these grand fellows, developed in personality and correlation by their own resourcefulness, leaving their beloved sons and daughters, who have had no such luck, to carry on. A generation will carry on, but the basis for carrying on and the scene is changing with astonishing rapidity. Will America bury that subsequent generation with similar feelings of admiration, respect, and love? I believe America will. Written by Frank Lloyd Wright, Taliesin, Wisconsin, July 23rd, 1937.
And that, my friends, is a tale from an old friend, Parker Pens. And I think that story really fits these fountain pens to tell you a little about the people behind these awesome brand of Parker fountain pens, rollerballs, ballpoint pens, and they have gel pens, felt pens, mechanical pencils. They're there. So, I like to start off with the ballpoint pen first. No ordinary ballpoint pen. It's a Parker Insignia ballpoint pen. And they're founded around 1991 to 2008. The Insignia was discontinued in around 2008. The color of the pen is a matte black with gold trim. And it's about 5 G's in weight. Well, another pen from the 50s was an AKA Falcon, which came in about 1978 to 1982. And the Falcon is a black matte finish as well. And it was introduced again, around the 50 or so. This is the matte black epoxy coated with a diamondite gold trim. The ballpoint pen uses a thicker oil base ink, so the ballpoint will always need more pressure when you're writing. So this is a difference between the ballpoint pen and the rollerball. And then we throw in the fountain pen. So all of them are different writing instruments, but all three are Parker pens. So the weight of this pen is 21.2 G's, and it is the twist action. The length of the pen is 5.2 inches, and the weight comes in at 21.2 G's. It is a twist action ballpoint pen, and we'll get the eyeglass out, and it does say made in the good old USA, and it gives, I believe that's a code 111A, I could be wrong, and with the name Parker and the logo. Beautiful ballpoint pen, stunning pen. So let's go on the inside of the pen. You know, the pen kind of reminds me of a cross pen in a lot of ways. So here's the inside, and we're gonna take that out. That's the cover that goes over the refill, and there it is. And this is a medium point on this pen refill. And all these pens came from A.B. Rustic Relics. So, Big Bad Brad and his wife,
Amara.
thank you so much. I bought these pens from them, and some were given by them. Great people. Get to know them. How? Well, when you buy from the store, you can, ask questions and really get to know Brad and his wife and become more familiar about what they do and why they do. So this, again, is the Parker Insignia. Real beautiful fountain pen. And we'll do the writing shortly. So we're going to set this aside. Now we're going to come with the Parker Vector fountain pen. Yes, amazing, lovely fountain pen. The Parker Vector, this pen was 1985. It's a burgundy color, and it does have Canadian Club, pin that around, right there on the barrel. And the famous arrow clip, nice clip. And at the top you see the white, I would call it a dot, I could be wrong. And at the end you see a place, this is where you can post your pen. For those who like to post pens, voila, it is posted and secure. Let's unscrew the barrel, and that's how it comes, because I have some extra Parker converters for these pens, so I'm going to use that. You can also use a Parker refill on these pens as well. Now I want to talk about another cool pen, the Rollerball pen. So the Rollerball, this is the Vector. Okay, this is the Vector Rollerball Americana. The Vector lineup in 2001, where the Americana, the standard translucent camouflage, metallic, and the,
Dichroic.
thank you very much, and flighter, and the clarographic. Were all out together, which, made a pretty amazing lineup. In 2002, only a standard colors remained. That was it. And that was the black, blue, and the red. As the white was discontinued, as was the Americana, boom, nice looking fountain pen, the camouflage, the metallic, and the, nice German name to it, I think.
Dichroic.
Very good. So Parker worked on the new liquid ink system for 5 years. Eventually, the patent for the Parker completely new rollerball system was filled. And that was about April 1975 by Fred Wittenberg. Get that right?
Yes.
As the primary inventor. By then, it was already in production. So the new RB-1 rollerball became immensely popular, and after the introduction in England in July of 1981 and in the US in September, it sold more than 2 million units before Christmas. That's a lot of pens. Since the ballpoint pen uses a thicker oil-based ink, a ballpoint pen will always need more pressure in writing, which could be tiresome if used for a prolonged time. With a more fluid ink, writing would be more like using a fountain pen. The problem with the more fluid ink was to prevent the pen from blobbing. Parker worked on the new liquid ink system for 5 years. Again, I'll repeat myself. So they could get this done. So after the patent, the Parker completely new rollerball system was filled. So that's the difference. The ballpoint pen, you need to apply a lot more pressure than you do with the rollerball, and then even less pressure with a fountain pen. So on the rollerball, the ball was designed to give way a fraction of a millimeter when pressed against paper. This allowed the ink to flow down around the ball at the tip of the pen there, giving a very wet and pleasant writing experience. And let me just show you, there is the tip of the rollerball. So that ink rolls down, and that rollerball, as you see on the end, and then in return grab that ink coming down, and it would lay down a nice amount of ink on paper with not a lot of pressure, and your hand wouldn't get as tired as using a ballpoint pen, where it usually takes more pressure when you're using it to get the ink out. And we will demonstrate that in a few minutes. What I'd like to do next is do some writing with each one of the pens, but before I do that, let me get out one of my converters made for the Parker Victor. Now here are two different converters. One's bigger than the other. So this one is for the Parker Victor. Okay, so we'll set this aside. On my next review, I'll be showing you more about this converter. So we'll just put that in. Perfect fit. And this is going to be that fine nib I was talking about, which has number 1 on the nib, on the feed, excuse me, right there. And I'm going to be using some Diamine Oxblood. And on this converter, it's got that slider, and it works real well. I haven't had any problems with it. You can also find these converters, I believe, on Big Bad Brad's website. I'll stick this little jewel in here. And that's enough ink right there. So, and that's how much ink I am going to use. And then I'll wipe it off. And I'll close it up. So, put everything away, my friends. This has been an interesting fountain pen history lesson for me. It has taken me a while to try to get everything put together the way I want it, and then still it probably won't be good enough because I'm very particular, but then, I've got so much going on, and then dealing with the health issues, I'm trying to get it all worked together. But here we go. I'm going to use my good old Tomo River paper. And we're going to start off with the Parker Ballpoint insignia. Okay. And I'm really not putting a lot of pressure on this pen. And it really writes nicely. All right. And it has some really nice ink flow. Pen looks stunning. It feels really good in the hand. It's a thinner pen. It doesn't have the girthy to it, but that's okay. It still writes well, and I've hadn't had any problems using the pen for long writing sessions, which is important. Now, I want to do the rollerball next. Before I do, let's go ahead and take the barrel off, show you the insides. This is a medium 0.8 millimeter made in the USA Parker rollerball. Right there. And again, I was saying how that ink runs down into the tip where the barrel is, and when that ball goes around, that ink just rolls around there with it, and it just really has a nice ink flow to it. It puts the ink out really nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and cap this beautiful USA pen and get to writing on it. All right. The Parker, this is the Americana. Okay. Here's the Parker Victor. Look at that. Big difference. Major difference. Beautiful. Beautiful. And this is the Americana. Beautiful. I love the flow this rollerball puts out. It really is sweet. Really nice. Okay. All right. Last but not least, we're going to bring out the Parker Victor fountain pen. Here we go. Oh man, this is sweet. Fine nib. Sorry about that. And I guess I'll just let you see the ink. Don't mind ox blood. Good old ox blood. Check the witness here on this fine nib. That is sweet. I like that. So, somebody. All right, now I'm going to put down a line down and a line across. That's for the fountain pen. And now we're going to go with the rollerball. Down and across. Very nice. Parker really makes some nice fountain pens. And this is the ballpoint. We're going to go on that side. And you have to press a bit harder there. And you see, on this ink, it's a lighter ink on it than the other two. The other two are a lot wetter. Of course, your rollerball is wet, and your fountain pen is really nice and wet and juicy, where the ink is a little bit different on the ballpoint pen, and you're not going to get that kind of look. But for those who like ballpoint pens, this is great. And you can always change out colors. You can check on Brad's website and see what color you want and what he has to offer. So, here you have it. Parker Vector with a fine nib. Vintage, baby. Parker Vector Rollerball. Beautiful pen. The Americana, no longer being made. Really a nice wood rollerball. Last but not least, the Parker Insignia ballpoint pen. Beautiful matte finish, nice gold trim, nice gold band around the barrel. Showed you the refill, twist action. There you have it. One more time before I go. Parker Insignia and the vintage Parker Americana Rollerball, and the other vintage is the Parker Vector fountain pen with a fine nib. So folks, there you have it. There's my story. It may be a little long, so I hope you enjoyed the video. And since we're all staying in, I thought, well, you know what? Why not do a video that will maybe entertain the folks, and that way we could tell the story, the tribute that Mr. Announcer just read, and get all the pens that I wanted to show you involved, talk a little bit about them, show you how they write and where you can purchase these pens. So if you're looking for any kind of Parker pen, really, you need to check out Big Bad Brad. Yep, because that's the place you're going to get them. Because Big Bad Brad is a Parker enthusiast. Loves them. A.B. Rustic Relics. So you can find them on eBay, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and
Pinterest.
And on the other side, that is a blank. Well, my friends, that's going to do it today. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you, and thank you. So, my friends, I'm going to cut it off now because I'm getting tired. What else is new? Until my next video, my next show, we're going to rock it out, okay? Be safe, my friends. Wash them hands. And as always, don't text and drive. Okay, I'll see you later. Goodbye.